music.
I mean, that gets you amped every time. It gets you amped every time.
Just ready for some Warmachine.
I'm ready to war it up.
Warmachine Weekend 2017.
Yeah.
I'm Dallas Kemp.
And I'm Brent Walder.
And we're here at the second annual Timvitational.
The Timvitational.
That's right. We got the staff extravaganza game.
Yes.
With Doug
Hammy-Ham.
That's how we're going.
We're going to go with
Hammy-Ham.
Doug
Hammy-Ham Hamilton versus Tim, don't call me Nuke Scalpel Simpson.
That's right.
That's right. And I believe they have the, they're setting up right now. And I believe they're starting. They got the go-ahead to go.
I saw the handshake. Looks like it's going to be a gentleman's game today.
It's going to be a gentleman's game played with the utmost of respect and dignity.
Is that the word? Respect?
Doubtful.
Okay.
Doubtful. So let's take a look at the scenario they're going to be playing.
Right. So my understanding today, they'll be playing scenario. Wait, that's not scenario 7.
Scenario 7, Red Rover, Red Rover.
I guess that one's not happening because I see a completely different graphic on the screen.
So we're doing scenario 6, Breakdown.
Oh, wait, no, that's scenario 4.
That's scenario 4.
Right you are.
Right you are, Brent Walder. Scenario 4, Breakdown. Let's get down to the breakdown of Breakdown.
The Briggity Breakdown?
The Briggity Breakdown of
Okay,
Breakdown.
Wonderful.
So this scenario has a rectangle in the middle and 2 circles on each side, kind of like a dumbbell.
It does look like a dumbbell.
It does look like a dumbbell. It's got the kill box in effect. It's got special rules. If you control the zone, you're going to get a control point. And your victory conditions are score 5 control points. You win.
You win 5 victory points.
You win 5 victory points.
No.
5
or
more.
We're getting a hand sign here from JR. Thanks, JR.
Thanks, JR.
All right, I got is that a thumbs up? Oh, it is a thumbs up. Okay.
Buddy JR got our backs. So that's the scenario they're going to be playing. And can we let's cut to overhead and take a look at these armies.
Wow, look at that.
Wow. So Doug, let's start with Doug's army. Doug is playing some Scorn.
He's playing the Scorn.
He is running Zol 2 with an Agonizer, a Basilisk Drake, a Basilisk Kreia,
nice,
a Cyclops Shaman. He is running 3 Ancestral Guardians.
Because you can't have enough.
You can never have enough.
Literally cannot have enough.
Stone Men.
We love Stone Men.
Stone Men. Hakar with 2 exclamation points.
Yes. Whoa.
There you go.
Yes, Hakar.
Because apparently Doug
Hakar's
spells
got a lot of
Hakar
fans
with
here. He's got a lot of fans here.
Exclamation points.
Yes.
2 Void Spirits, 3 units of Immortals, all 3 of them with the unit attachment, and a minimum unit of Pain Givers.
Well, because you have to have a little bit of pain to have a little bit of fun. You
know
what I'm saying?
have a little bit of pain to have a little bit of give.
Always.
I don't even know what that meant.
Right you are, Dallas. Right you are.
All right. So, and we can see Doug here. He's moving up his Immortals and
I will say
position.
This. His Immortals are beautiful.
Those are good-looking models. Doug has really been up in his game here with painting.
It's unfortunate that his game is not equal to his painting skill.
To his painting skill.
Yeah.
This is absolutely true.
But that's just the truth. And honestly, quite honestly, I mean, one can't really compete against Tim, the Nuke Scalpel Simpson.
I mean, well, let's take a look at this army. The Legion of Steel. He's got the Old Witch 2, the Fate Keeper. You can see her in the middle of the board there.
Yes.
Right. Let's use this Telestrator. Right there.
Yes, that's the one.
Taking up a massive...
Literally the only huge base on the entire table.
Literally. In the history of Warmachine and Hordes, true words have never been spoken, Brent.
I think we're gonna top that today.
We're going to top that. More truer words will be spoken.
More truer words. Hashtag truth. Hashtag real talk.
No more truth than the truth right now. He's running 2 Kodiaks, and those are awesome baby blue looking Kodiaks there on his table there. He's got Madeline Corbeau. Sounds like somebody's gargling some mouthwash in the background.
Yeah.
Ulan Kovnik Markov. Iron Fang Kovnik. Captain Sophia Skorova.
Oh, our new lady.
Yeah, she's an awesome model.
She's an amazing model.
And back to the music. We got Sophia Skorova. I believe he's got her already painted, even though he purchased her yesterday. We got a maximum unit of Black Dragons with an officer, another
Wonderful.
maximum unit of Black Dragons with officer and standard, minimum Iron Fang Ulans, maximum battle mechanics. Sounds like
Man.
a song I want to write.
Sounds like a band I should be in.
This sounds like a band I should be in. The Great Bear's a gallows wood. So he is Iron Fanged
Man.
to the max.
He's got all those black dragons. I'm excited to see what's going to happen today.
I have a feeling they're going to puncture some wounds into Doug Hamilton's. I don't know. It's probably his agonizer and his.
I
Drake.
imagine, yeah. Into his agonizer?
Into his agonizer.
Really?
I would go for the agonizer.
Oh, who wouldn't go for the agonizer?
Always to go for the agonizer. Just it'll make it happy in the end.
Awesome.
All
well,
right, so
it looks like we're deep into round one here. You can see already the positional differences between Doug Hamilton and Tim Simpson.
let's take a look here.
That tight, precise unit formations
Formation. Look
versus
at
literally garbage.
this. This looks like something you'd see right out of like textbook, like military
I would argue,
execution.
I would argue that's like textbook Mad Max style play.
That is Doug Hamilton all the way.
That is Hamiltonian play, gentlemen.
Hamilton Loke, as we like to call him,
Hamilton Loke.
has a very unique and distinct play style that is aggressive yet subtle
Sloppy.
and sloppy.
And subtle. Yes, of course.
I don't think Tim's actually moved yet.
Well,
Brent. This is his deployment. These guys are AD'd.
Well, so we
Right
have
there.
yet to see actually how he moves his models, how he stays in position.
He's going to stay in position. He's going to want to rank these fellas up and just precision right into the heart. Like just come right into here, into the heart of Hamilton's army, destroying this section right here, breaking this formation out, and routing these pain givers that way into a duck-like maneuver.
Yes, right you are, Dallas.
Okay, Tim is explaining how many things has Pathfinder in his army.
Which, I'll be honest, it is Tim the Nuke Scalpel Simpson. It's likely everything has
Likely
Pathfinder.
everything. There he goes, bringing up those Kodiaks. Native Pathfinder on those. Coming up.
And
Using
this,
those precision. This is a sign of precision. He's using those precision sticks from Broken Egg Games to precisely measure his precise execution of precision decimation.
Yes, it's quite impressive. It's impressive to see how aggressively Tim Simpson will play. I mean, he didn't surrender a single millimeter of that speed.
Not
out there.
Not a millimeter.
I think it might be the fact that he has zero fear of Doug Hamilton.
He should, sir. He used all 8 inches.
All 8.
All
Right
8.
you are, Dallas. Right you are.
He's bringing up those Ulans now. We're having some discussion over last year's Timvitational.
Yeah. Well, it was a game worth talking about.
It was a game of the ages.
A game beyond our time.
Something that they will speak of in the annals of Warmachine and Horde's history.
Yes,
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeedy.
Oh, the trash talk is for real on the tabletop.
Already we're hearing Doug Hamilton talk about how Tim has arranged his army perfectly to defeat him, which honestly doesn't surprise this commentator because Tim Simpson
Doug's been
is an
posting
animal.
this army for a while. Like, I think he shared this on the social media outlets. And so I'm sure Tim used that to his advantage to be like, I know what you're bringing.
Why wouldn't he?
Yeah, I mean, that's just
military
literally genius.
We're talking about great school strategy.
I mean, that's classic strategy.
Classic
strategy. defense 12 armor to 18 on these Iron Fang pikemen. Moving up in the shield
Just
wall.
unbeatable.
That is unstoppable.
This is going to be brutal.
Brutal. A slobber knocker, one would say.
The kind of slobber knocker one hasn't seen for maybe a year.
Maybe a year since
maybe
the last time we
year
saw
today.
a slobber knocker.
Brought to us by Tim, the Nuke Scalpel Will Simpson.
This is I mean, turn one. I love watching turn one because you never know where these two men are going to go.
I'll be honest. Every time I've watched a Warmachine and Hordes game played by Tim Simpson, it's been decided in the first round.
First round.
In
This
the
man
very
knows
first
exactly
round.
what he's doing and exactly how the game is going to play out. It's like he sees into the future.
Right, or he's playing against a member of our staff, which is just honestly,
He's playing against
you kind
Doug
of know
Hamilton.
you kind of know how it's going to go anyway.
You know what you get when you get Hamilton Loke.
But I will say, he is wearing an amazing shirt today by Off-World Designs,
got
our
the,
sponsor for the tournament we're playing right now.
He's got the Fiora Scorched Earth T-shirt from Off-World Designs.
An amazing shirt.
It's metal all the way.
It is ultra metal.
Hang on, I think we're going to get a shot of that.
Let's get a shot.
There we go.
That is a beautiful shirt. Look
Fiora
at that shirt.
Scorched Earth. Can we see the back?
Let's see the back.
Let's go to the
Check
back.
the back shirt.
That
Look
is
at
the
that.
Northern Crusade Tour 605 AR Caspia TBD.
Caspia, you're on the list, baby.
It's a what? Good looking
It's a beautiful sculpt. It's a beautiful. I'll give it that.
The man might be biased. He tends to be.
Once again,
OffWorldDesigns.com.
offworlddesigns.com.
Offworlddesigns.com. Thagros shirt also.
Thagros shirts as well.
Classy. Available to wear to weddings.
Funerals.
Or whatever.
Bar
It's
mitzvahs.
the perfect shirt to meet a mate.
Prom.
The perfect shirt to meet a mate. Oh, we can do that. Give a little taste of this one right here on 3, 2. There you go.
There it is. That's that
Thagros.
Thagros shirt. It's just beautiful. Honestly, I
I
wouldn't.
gotta say I love this shirt.
I wouldn't want to be. I wouldn't want to be mean mugged by any other shirt.
And that is a shirt that mean mugs you, even though you're not being mugged mean.
Right you are.
Right
Dallas.
you are.
Right you are.
Excellent point, sir. Back to the game.
Let's go back to that table.
Excellent. Fantastic. All right, so Tim has moved up. He's still got his backfield. What has he got back there? The mechanics. Needs to still move up. Madeline Corbeau now moving up.
Now
She's
you'll know.
parlaying. She's going to have a little communion there with the old witch.
Right you are.
She's going to have a little parlay.
A parlay.
Parlay.
Well then.
Not to be confused with a parfait, which is not yet a rule in Warmachine and Hordes.
Honestly, it almost edged in on the Grimkin.
It could be.
We almost saw that on a Grimkin model.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Truer words have never been spoken in Warmachine and Hordes history.
Exactly what model almost had the rule parfait?
The Dreamer. The Dreamer almost had that rule, yes.
She could just dream in an ice cream cone for
Well,
you?
let's be honest. She can dream in anything. If you could dream in anything, you would dream in a parfait.
Yeah, with Spanish peanuts,
Best kind.
hot chocolate syrup.
Right you are, Dallas.
Now we're talking. Now we're getting to the game. This is where it all starts at this moment right here. Looks like Doug Hamilton has popped his feet. Sure you want to do that. Those are words you don't want to hear.
At this point, I'm starting to wonder if Tim Simpson's actually trying to help Doug play.
He's just guiding him through part of his master plan. Fantastic. I'm curious to see what Doug's going to do in this.
Well, I think there's probably a 50-50 chance that Tim will fall asleep during this game against Doug.
I mean, Doug will take his time. It's part of his typical strategy. Like I said, you know exactly what you're going to get when you get Doug Hamilton. What?
Alrighty.
All right, I'm looking up the Doug doing some measuring there. Looking at the zone. That's not what I want. Doug's taking his time here. He is on the clock. He's got to remember that. He's going to be one to push into the zone.
Well, he's got to take his time. I mean, you're facing someone of excellent and amazing skill. And he wants to put on a good show, a good fight, if you will.
This looks like a charge there with them Immortals into those Iron Fangs.
Well, this is the kind of bloodshed we knew we were going to see today, Dallas.
Quite the slobber knocker.
Right you are, Dallas.
There we go. So Doug has Doug used? So Doug is using his feet. It's remove D6 plus 3 damage points from each friendly faction war beast, construct model currently within his control zone, and they all gain plus 5 armor. So it sounds like he's using this for a defensive turn.
It seems that way.
I'm sorry. My mistake.
Yeah, we've just got correction from the judges. It seems as though Doug has decided actually not to use his feet.
That was my mistake.
Despite saying he was going to use his feet. It seems as though
I think he took it back.
I think he took, actually, Tim, the Nuke Scalpel's advice.
Said you shouldn't use your feet yet.
He said maybe you shouldn't do that. And Doug was like, you know what? My opponent, you're correct.
You're right.
You're absolutely right. So he didn't do that.
Zol's feat's an excellent feat. Once again, as I was explaining, it's removing damage point from construct models, which is really strong on Ancestral Guardians and Khador himself.
Of course.
But also the plus 5 armor, like on construct models. So I can really
just
jam
impossible.
up a zone.
Impossible to get through it sometimes.
You're not breaking that kind of armor anytime soon.
Unless, of course,
you're
Tim Simpson.
And then you're going to use those Iron Fang blasting pikes and just pop holes.
And just pop big old holes in those guys.
And just make them into rubbles. Just rubble piles.
Yes. Yeah. Immortal rubble piles.
Immortal rubble piles.
Literally one of the worst ways Scorn can go out forever.
To be turned into a pile of rock.
As an immortal.
Because it just releases the soul stone, right?
You're basically just a stone on the ground at that point.
That's terrible.
The worst possible ending for your life.
I mean, I would like to collect...
Brought to you by Tim the Nuke Scalpel Simpson.
Just taking out soul stones left and right since 2000. I don't know.
Right you are, Dallas.
Astute observation, Brent Walder. Back to the action. We've got some Ancestral Guardians moving up. He's moving some Fury around.
I'm excited what's gonna happen on Tim's turn. I mean, he's definitely putting up a screen Doug is putting up a screen to try to keep what meager forces he has alive.
He's got those not the AGs. He's got the Immortals spread out. He's cramming some of them into the zone, but not all of them into the zone. Oh, there you go. He's moving Zol 2 up there quite aggressively.
Well, Doug is an aggressive player. It doesn't surprise me that he'd sacrifice a few of his men.
So you got, looks like Khador the Destroyer right there. We've got Zol 2 there. We've got Basilisk there. A bunch of Immortals, right?
Now, I'm going to stop you right there for a second.
All right, let's take a look at this.
I want you to take a look at Tim Simpson's hands. Do you see how there's very little fidgeting?
There's no fidgeting.
He has
stoic.
He has zero concerns. He's even lightly playing with his measuring device. He's so unconcerned.
Unconcerned about what's
happening right now.
Because look at this wall, this force, this precise line. I mean, he's got the Wizard Tower blocking him in here.
It really is.
And just anchoring that zone. And he's got this wall, a precise military might. It's like a stone wall being crashed upon the waves of an ocean of rock men.
Right you are, Dallas. Amazing observation.
Quite astute. This is going to be a slobber knocker. Let's get back to the action.
Seems as though we've
got
got
some
barbecue sauce on the field. I'm not sure that's quite legal.
That's not legal.
Can we go to a judge on that? Can we go to a judge on the barbecue sauce?
We're going to need a ruling on this.
Oh, it turns out actually we have no judges at all. So this one's the Wild West, folks.
We're just letting this one go.
It's not going to surprise me if we see that barbecue sauce again later in the game.
I'm sure it's going to come back in a much more aggressive manner and not to anyone's delight.
Well, possibly the audience, Dallas.
Possibly the audience. Barbecue sauce, a delightful audience entertainment system.
You know,
since
it occurs to me.
2023.
It occurs to me. Maybe we should go to the audience and ask them, as a poll, would they like to see the barbecue sauce come back later in the game?
Doug's moving some more Immortals into the zone. Or maybe we should just see Doug chug the barbecue sauce.
Well, that could be a horrible thing to see, Dallas. That could be but right you are.
Right you are. Astute observation. Back to the action. This is going to be a slobber knocker. He's doing the -2 aura.
There's that cute little agonizer.
I'm telling you, the agonizer is a key participant in all the plans of Doug Hamilton's Scorn Force.
Well, as it should be.
I mean,
the agonizer is the crown jewel of the Scorn Force.
that is absolutely correct. Astute observation, Brent Walder.
Now, that sound effect that we just heard Doug Hamilton make,
That was
the high sort of beeping noise he made,
Yes.
that's literally the sound an agonizer makes as it marches up the field.
really interesting. Now, is that canon?
My understanding, I'll double check with Doug Seacat, but I believe he will answer yes
Excellent.
if I pay him enough money.
If you pay him, yeah.
All right. So now you'll note that Tim has gone to his phone, likely to check his messages because he's so bored out of
He's
his
not
mind.
even looking at War Room at this point.
He's like kind of scrolling through his Facebook. Watch his thumb scroll through his Facebook.
Fantastic. Astute observation. Back to the action. He's got all right, Doug Simpson back on the clock. He's now I believe that this is correct. Doug Hamilton's feat is active. So he's got the +5 armor on all those Immortals, all those Ancestral Guardians, Khador the Destroyer, Zal himself. I mean, we're talking about 92.73% of the army has +5 armor at this stage in the game.
Right you are, Dallas. And that number, by the way, for the home audience, was absolutely correct.
Absolutely correct. Truer words have never been mathematically spoken in the history of Warmachine and Hordes.
Agreed.
So Tim Simpson's turn. He's going off. He's doing some thinking here. He's upkept reconstruction on the Old Witch. He's moving some tokens around.
He's dropped Shield Wall, of course.
We've got Doug is remeasuring, making sure that all of his models are in his feet.
This is going to be a tough turn for Tim.
Tim's going to have to bust these stone men open. Bust the stones.
He can crack those stones if he attacks with the...
with the might and precision that only Tim Simpson can.
Right you are, Dallas.
Back to the action. I have a feeling, here comes the laser device. He's looking at some...
Interesting.
I'm not exactly sure what he's going to do there. Probably some Ulan. He's measuring the Ulans. Tim's just giving the information straight out.
And once again, we see the
Barbecue sauce back on the table. Oh my God, what a turn of events. This is unparalleled in Warmachine and Hordes.
So he's cracked the barbecue sauce.
He's cracked it open. I'm not sure what the plan is here at this stage.
I believe this actually is a distraction attempt from Doug Hamilton.
He's wafting the scent
the sweet scent of St. Louis barbecue sauce
into Tim Simpson's nasal passages.
What he doesn't realize is Tim is a consummate professional.
Consummate professional.
There is no way he's going to be distracted by the sweet smells of St. Louis barbecue.
No way, sir. This man understands hunger and how to keep it in check.
The only thing he's hungry for
is victory. There you go. Back to the action. This is going to be a slobber knocker. Impact attack on an immortal.
I do believe he was in his front arc when he began the charge.
I believe that's correct. Astute observation.
Ooh, POW 16.
Armor 22.
Oh.
And that's a dead immortal. The Armor 22 saved him not.
Now, try to keep in mind, canonically, that soul gem is going to just sit on the ground forever now. Forever.
Until, like, a dwarf or something comes along, picks it up.
And likely turns it into some kind of piece of jewelry.
That would be fantastic. Can we do something like that? That'd be great.
Turn soul gems into jewelry?
Or, like, can the maybe some sort of goblin race discover soul gems and, like, use them as, like, mechanical power devices?
Right you are, Dallas.
That sounds crazy. Back to the action. I'm going to nickname that immortal that just died Pebbles.
Pebbles.
Pebbles the immortal crumbled before the might of an Ulan charge.
Well, we'll remember that this year, Pebbles was the first victim on a field of Tim Simpson.
That is absolutely true. Astute observation. All right, he's moving up. He's bumped the Void Spirit. We're game state.
It was nice of Doug to move that model back.
Now I believe that's Tim Simpson's feat token out on the board currently.
So, for the players at home, he was just checking range.
Checking the range, all right.
Wasn't actually looking to do anything with the model yet.
Excellent. Good information to have. Whoa.
Now watch the precision that the Nuke Scalpel's known for. As he moves those models into the Immortals, and yet does it in such a way as not to provoke free strikes.
Nimbly pimbly.
That's one way you could say it, Dallas.
The precise play of Tim Simpson. Subtle but aggressive. He's
subtle and aggressive.
Subtle and aggressive.
There's nothing but about Tim Simpson. He is an and man.
Astute observation. Back to the action. He's moving some models through the forest.
Once again, watch that placement. This right here is basic training for Warmachine and Horde's players. Watch that movement. Watch that precision.
Trying to think of a metaphor on how you would describe the subtle and aggressiveness of Tim Simpson's play.
I have to be honest with you. I realize we were told not to use it, but Nuke Scalpel literally does exactly what you're asking. Explosive power in the most minute, precise way.
Astute observation.
We don't get to choose our nicknames, my friend.
They choose you.
They choose you. Right you are, Dallas.
It's like a 10-ton boulder of handkerchiefs. Soft, yet deadly.
Right you are, Dallas. Right you are.
We're having some discussion on the tabletop right now. Didn't quite kill that immortal. That immortal's nickname will not be Pebbles.
Well, we already named one Pebbles, Dallas.
Pebbles 2.
Pebbles Dose. Well, it looks like he did manage to move one off the table.
This man hates us.
Needing a 13 on the dice.
Here we go.
He didn't get it.
That is unfortunate. I'm sure Doug is loving this moment.
Well, it's that feat in play, you know. Really, no matter how haphazardly you place your models,
Armor
that high
22.
armor is just really, really tough to crack.
That is absolutely astute observation.
Needs 12 on the dice here to crack that armor. And he got it.
Got that leader off the board with the Great Bears. Those guys are pretty awesome, those Great Bears.
They're pretty tough.
They are some tough dudes swinging axes and just looking straight up badass while they're doing it.
Right you are, Dallas.
Back to the action.
Hitting's the easy part. Let's see if he can do some damage. Oh, man,
It's
those high
analogies
dice.
for life there, sir.
Those high dice. Isn't it?
There we go.
Isn't it, though? So despite using his feet this turn, he is still taking a beating from those forces.
Just taking a hit. Pressing forward with the Iron Fang Pikeman. Shield walling in, which is, that's just retaliation, right?
It really is retaliation, Dallas.
He's like, you want to be armor 22 for one turn? I can be armor 18 for every turn.
Well, only if you play with the precise precision that
Precision.
Tim Simpson can show us.
Precision nature of that man.
Looks like Tim's commenting on our comments. He sounds pretty happy about what he's hearing, and that shouldn't be a surprise.
That's conception. Moving that guy up, which I believe is the Iron Fang Kovnik.
Once again, maintaining that shield wall.
Maintaining that shield wall. Keeping them all grouped up. Armor 18. CMA right into that Immortal. Let's see if we call him Pebbles.
The fourth.
The fourth. Quattro Pebbles.
Right you are, Dallas.
Then there we go. That's a dead Immortal.
And you note how he's choosing the exact number of models he's going to need to destroy those Immortals. He's not being too conservative. He's not being too aggressive. He's doing exactly what he needs to destroy those models.
Leaving nothing to chance, but only math.
Only math.
Only math. And that one's not dead.
Looks like he didn't quite get there.
I'm a little curious what he's going to do with these two Kodiaks. I'm imagining these Kodiaks coming in here and putting some pressure into the center of this force.
All right, bringing you live updates from the polls, the Twitch polls we've been. Right, you are, Dallas. One of our polls was, what was Tim looking at on his phone? We have 20%. They were looking at my pictures of my dog, Pancakes, a beautiful animal.
A
cute little
lovely
corgi.
animal.
Cute little corgi.
The most adorable woofer I've ever met.
You can see him on Reddit Corgis right now.
Wow.
20%, Dank Maymays.
Dank Maymays. Tim is known for his Dank Maymay browsing
Indeed.
and his precise play.
60%, he was checking out his Tinder.
I mean, that's what I'm doing right now, Brent.
Right you are, Dallas.
Back to the action.
Our second poll.
Now, this is my favorite poll.
This is a great poll.
This is
How
a great
many
poll.
quote-unquote pebbles do you expect to see in the game? All 100%.
100%, which is mathematical perfection.
Exactly 34.
Exactly 34 pebbles.
Which I believe is every single model that Doug has brought to the table?
Yes, I believe that's correct.
All right, wonderful.
So everybody's a pebbles, and they're all going to crumble
Well, this surprises no one, really.
into dust.
I mean, there's a reason why we named this thing after Tim.
That's right. I mean, we're just going to slate this up for a loss for Doug Hamilton at this stage.
Well, I mean, he still has models on the table. Something could happen.
Although, you can't take Doug Hamilton for granted.
Right you are, Dallas.
Back to the action. Getting a big thumbs up from JR.
That's not a thumb, JR.
Classic maneuver here. Oh, snake eyes. You never want to see that in a game.
Not really, well, unless your opponent rolls it.
Then you want to see it all the time.
All the time.
You know what? When your opponent rolls snake eyes,
Snake's eyes.
steak eyes. When your
Steak
opponent
eyes.
rolls snake eyes, it makes the game easy.
It does make the game. Truer words have never been spoken in the history of Warmachine and Hordes, Dallas.
Literally, right you are. Back to the action.
Well, it looks like you got your wish. Those Kodiaks are moving in.
Yeah, that's exactly what I expected to see from Tim, is those Kodiaks moving up the center, putting pressure on Zal Hakar. I mean, Hakar is there, though. Hakar is a boss.
He does have 2 exclamation points after his name.
He does have 2 exclamation points, Hakar. I would call him the boss sauce.
The boss sauce.
Or the rock boss.
Right you are, Dallas.
Or the pebble leader.
Or the pebble eater.
Exactly my point.
Wonderful.
So this is where the pressure's happening right now. You got that Kodiak there, moving in. You still have this over here with this Kodiak. Tim has got this entire group of Iron Fangs who have wasted these Immortals, but he still has these Ulans chilling out down at the bottom. He's going to have to look at 2, maybe dealing with moving around the Wizard Tower up here and dealing with what's going on in Tim's back, or Doug Hamilton's backfield. We have the zone on this side. We have Tim's backside on this side. And nothing is really going to go on over here. This is basically completely off the board.
Right you are, Dallas.
Empty space on this side, empty space on this side. I mean, this is basically the look of a professional game of Warmachine and Hordes illustrated.
And honestly, I have to say, somewhat resembles a look on Doug Hamilton's face as he plays Tim right now.
This game represents Doug Hamilton's internal struggle.
Right you are, Dallas.
All right, back to the action. Looks like Tim has used his smoke clouds on those Kodiaks. Popping smoke, as I like to say. Not the same as popping wheelies.
Not the same. No, not at all.
Popping wheelies, that would definitely be some Grimkin Nayslayers.
I believe that actually almost made it into the Grimkin army.
Popping wheelies?
Popping wheelies. I've heard that from time to time.
Popping wheelies. He's
Now,
advancing, pressing forward.
Like you said, here they come around that tower.
Around that Wizard Tower.
You called it. Likely the only thing we've called accurately this entire game, Dallas.
Or any game I've ever commentated on.
Right you are, Dallas.
Around that Wizard Tower, protecting the Wizard Tower, protecting that Wizard's ley lines, and precious bottles of awesome alchemical fluids.
Right you are, Dallas.
Because that's, I mean, look, like this is the old witch, right? She has her little hut on top of Scrapjack, but that's probably her tower where she keeps her, like, chemical agents.
I would have to check with Doug Seacat on that one, but I believe that is actually canonically correct.
That is canonical. You've heard it here first, folks. Just all kinds of like toads in bottles and stuff like that. And Doug is trying to use his stone force to take them for some nefarious deeds.
You'll note he's moving his models up. Now, here's the difference between Doug Hamilton and Tim the Nuke Scalpel Simpson. You'll note that
Look
Doug
at those hands shake.
is moving his forces into base-to-base contact with those models. Absolutely not necessary.
Just
but
unnecessary.
he does it anyway. I think it's because Doug likes contact.
Full contact.
Full contact is Doug's MO.
That is his play style in a nutshell.
Right you are, Dallas.
This one's going to be a slobber knocker. This is where the game starts.
Doug rolling those dice. Big hand. Big hand.
Big hand. Hot dice.
And you'll note, he's rolling all these dice, and literally nothing is happening on the board.
Not a single model's been
Not
removed.
a single thing is happening. You know,
That 5 isn't going to cut it, I
if
don't
you
think.
can't roll dice, you can't play Warmachine.
Right you are, Brent. He's getting the +1.
He's looking for all the pluses he can find,
Take him where you can get him,
or take him if you can't get him.
or that.
Outright steal him if you can.
Stealing when I should have been buying.
Right you are, Dallas.
There we go. Knockdown model. Checking his melee range. There we go. Auto hit. Armor 14.
Oh,
There we go. Boxcars.
That's them boxcars.
There's a dead model. Doug Hamilton back in the game.
Or at the very least, his dice are back in the game.
Turning the tide of the stony avalanche that was cascading in the opposite direction it should have been going.
Right you are, Dallas.
He's going to use this momentum.
I can feel Doug, his energy's kind of ramping back
it's
up.
ramping back
I think
up.
he feels as though the tide is turning.
Could have been that shot of barbecue sauce.
Well, don't underestimate the power of a good barbecue, St. Louis barbecue sauce.
Brother, let me tell you, I am ready for some barbecue now.
Right you are, Dallas.
Back to the barbecue,
I mean the Warmachine.
or that. Doing some measurements and some estimations over here in this game. If you're just tuning in, we have Doug Hamilton, Privateer staff, the consummate sculptor, playing Zal, the Ancestral Advocate, versus Tim Simpson and his Zavana Aga, the Fate Keeper army in our Warmachine Weekend 2017 Staff Throwdown Extravaganza Palooza. This is the game of ages.
It's
Where literally anything could happen and probably will.
right you are, Dallas.
Doug taking careful consideration in his next movement here. Coming around to the side of that Kodiak. Oh, we've got an AG on the side of that Kodiak. He's going to go for it, I believe. He's all hawked up on soul power.
Mm-hmm. Dice -7 on this roll.
This is going to be tough.
I'm not feeling good about this.
Doug taking a look at his war room, making sure his rules are correct before committing to that dice roll. There we go. Arcane Might in effect. See what dice -7 is going to bring him.
Oh, it's a good
Not
roll.
too bad.
Not too bad. It's a couple dice in.
Five to the 5. Mathematical perfection, always in effect and always important in the precise play of Warmachine and words.
Right you are, Dallas. Right you are.
Another big thumbs up from JR.
Hey, those dice are on fire.
They are hot.
I've honestly got to say that we're seeing more life from Doug Hamilton now than I think we've ever seen in his entire career.
He's got pep in his step, and he's ready to wreck. The stones are going to fall like a boulder's call.
Right you are, Dallas. I think
There we
that's
go. Bringing in Khador. That's what I'm talking about. Khador, double exclamation point. Khador charge. I'm loving this action right here.
This is a big play, Dallas. A big play for Doug.
Let's get a shot of the tabletop if we could. The action shot. Not what we were looking for. Excellent. That's the shot. Look at Khador charging in there into that Kodiak face first. Double blades going to lay it on him like a smackdown machine.
Right you are, Dallas.
This is where it all begins. This is where the game starts. This is where the action begins and ends, and the game starts and continues. He's buying an attack. Boosting. Dice -7. There we go.
Once
Look
again,
at that.
another
5 to the
solid
2.
roll. Another solid roll by Doug Hamilton.
Just sinking that damage in right where it counts, right where it matters, and right where he wants it the most.
You know, it's going to be a tougher game for Tim if Doug's dice are
That's
going to be
it.
hot the entire game. But once again, we've seen the nuke scalpel in tighter positions than this.
Much.
Much tighter.
One box in each system. This is reconstruction taking effect. Bringing that Warjack back. It's kind of an amazing ability there.
And really might take the wind out of Doug's sails.
When target large base or smaller Warjack in the spellcaster's battle group is disabled by an enemy attack at any time except while it's advancing, place it anywhere completely within 3 inches of the current location. Remove 1 damage point from each system, then reconstruct expires. That's what just happened. You put all that eggs into one basket, and he still got his jack.
Well, and now Doug is going to try to move in and finish the job.
Finishing it up with those immortals. Pebbles 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Moving that unit in.
Yep. Getting in there deep, ready to try to bust up those Iron Fang pikemans.
You can see the kind of indecision in Doug's movements that you wouldn't ever see in Tim's.
Never once doubting his movements.
Never once.
Not a chance.
That's the difference between a professional from Privateer Press and Tim the Nuke Scalpel Simpson.
Just an amazing game going on right here with Zal the Ancestral Guardian, moving up with those immortals, trying to really take advantage of the momentum that he's building like a stone tidal wave.
Right you are, Dallas.
Cascading against the pristine and tranquil beach of the Khador army.
True enough.
Back to the action. This is not going quite as good.
Oh, there's a good hit, though.
See what we do for damage.
You know, it's like every time I watch his dice, they just get better.
They're just getting better. There goes that Kodiak. That's what he was counting on. One to the 5. Superb. There you go. Look at those dice rolls.
Just killing it. Once again, those dice are casino dice and are perfectly balanced. There's no way he's cheating with the dice.
Mathematical precision. Mathematical precision.
True words have never been spoken in the history of Warmachine and Horse, Dallas.
I like to roll good dice. I like to roll high dice because, like I like to say, I'd rather be lucky than good.
Right you are, Dallas.
Having a discussion about who is in, who is out. There we go. Got rid of another Iron Fang pikeman.
And
I don't think he can do anything. I don't think Doug has anything else to do against that Kodiak at this time.
I believe that Kodiak is going to be in for Tim to take advantage of next round.
Absolutely correct. It's going to be key. But like I said, he put that pressure there in the middle of the board. Doug Hamilton checking his measurements, ensuring that his immortals are still in the feet or were in the feet. Solid damage roll.
Oh, looks like Doug's getting a little blood here.
Getting a taste, getting hungry.
Who wouldn't get hungry after
here we
smelling
go.
that sweet St. Louis barbecue sauce?
St. Louis barbecue sauce, delicious. This whole unit, I believe, is going to come into this flank that Tim brought around the Wizard Tower. Try to take those guys out, remove them, and just bring that pressure into the Old Witch on this side, leaving Tim the only option to come up from the south into the north. But there's the wall of strategy that Doug has created here, leaving the Old Witch open and leaving these for any sort of retaliation back into that section. I mean, this is a clear indication of the type of play we're going to see today.
Right you are, Dallas.
All right, back to the action. Doug is slowly and methodically taking out those Iron Fang pikemans.
There's a significant amount of pressure on that side of the field.
Pressure that we're all feeling.
Right you are, Dallas.
Excitement and tension is also building, and we're all feeling. Doug has momentum. You can see it in his eye. The left eye.
It's true. We can only actually see one side of his face.
Absolutely true. Astute observation, Brent. That guy's got wounds, so we got to make sure that we kill him. Not just assume that we kill him.
Once again, those dice proving to be relatively average.
Invaluable to his strategy, one would say.
But boy, Doug is taking some time on this turn, isn't he?
He's really given a lot of thought to his strategy here. There we go. We're getting rid of more Iron Fang pikemen left and right, dying in droves to that Immortals. The Granite Surf. The
Yes.
tidal wave of stone. The avalanche of ash.
Right you are, Dallas.
There we go.
Oh,
Look at that.
my
665 taking that. That's a lot of damage into one little man.
Awful lot of damage.
Even with boxes, he could not have survived that.
Much like last night, my DM told me, rocks fall, you die.
Rocks fall, you die. That's just a lesson in life in general. A metaphor, one would say, for, having a job and paying a mortgage.
Right you are, Dallas.
Back to the action.
It sounds to me like Doug Hamilton is now asking his opponent, Tim the Nuke Scalpel Simpson, what he can do.
What can I do here? What would be a good strategy? He's still got those 2 Void Spirits, and I'm kind of curious what he's going to do with those.
Well, honestly, it speaks to the diplomatic spirit that Tim Simpson brings to every game he plays.
Absolutely. Just a nice guy, a friendly person, and a great player to play against.
Right you are, Dallas.
That Agonizer's moved up. Once again, the anchor to the whole key strategy and tactical prowess of this force is that Agonizer.
Indeed.
Tim's going to have to take that out. Forcing for the -2 bubble. That bubble is going to bring him trouble.
He's going to have bubble trouble.
Bubble trouble.
Right you are, Dallas.
We're going to spray into some more Iron Fang Pikemen. Countercharge going off.
That was a rookie move on Doug's part, asking for that countercharge.
Doug should use some strategy here and switch his time over on that countercharge back to Tim.
Oh, it just goes to show that Doug Hamilton feels
That's a
confident.
gentleman. That's a gentleman's move.
He feels confident about his game. So confident he's willing to give time up to Tim the Nuke Scalpel Simpson.
He's like, you know what, Tim? I'm going to give you this time to countercharge me.
Honestly, it's only fair. Doug has been asking Tim for advice the entire game.
Defense 13, armor 14. Time's over on Tim now. There we go. That countercharge from the Great Bear.
My goodness. Did you see that die roll?
That bear is a fantastic bear.
It was out of
Not
control.
quite great. Better than great. Fantastic.
Right you are, Dallas.
Better than bad. It's good. Back to the action. Another countercharging bear. A flanking, fantastic, great bear. And here we go. 3 off. Only 3 into the 6. That's on the Kreia. Okay, so he lost the mind on that Kreia. Hakar's right behind him, though. Hakar can totally take out those 2 Great Bears.
Hakar is a beast.
I mean, his Hakar double exclamation point, the beast, Rockman Pebbles.
Esquire.
Rockman Pebbles, Esquire.
Pebbles Man Beast.
Pebbles Man Beast. Let's see what happens here. Doug taking a moment, recalibrating his thoughts.
Which honestly happens a lot when you fight Tim the Nuke Scalpel Simpson.
You got to be on your toes.
You've got to recalibrate over and over and over again.
Well, the flow, the tactical prowess, he just keeps you on your toes where you just never know which direction he's going to strike from.
Right you are, Dallas.
He distracts with the left, and you think, well, that's a distraction from the left, so he's going to hit me with the right. And lo and behold, he hits you with the left.
Right you are, Dallas.
Military strategy genius at its finest. Doug Hamilton finishing up his turn. The clock needs to be switched back to Doug.
Or Tim's simply so confident in his play that
Tim's
he's
like,
literally
you know
running my clock. Oh, he's changed the clock back over again. Tim telling some truth at the table.
Laying down the truth.
Now, even though Tim has lost a significant portion of time, watch as he makes that time up in his skilled play.
He's going to look into the future to gain more time.
This is how Tim the Nuke Scalpel plays.
Can literally see into the future. He knows what you're going to do 2 turns before you do it.
Well, honestly, reading Doug Hamilton isn't actually difficult.
Absolutely true. True words have never been spoken in the history of Warmachine and Hordes. You've heard it here first. This is where the game starts, stops, and ends. Back to the action. This is a nail biter. Not quite the slobber knocker I was expecting. I was expecting these two
Well, hold your horses there,
magnificent
Dallas.
beasts to come into the middle.
Tim has just started his turn.
Tim is just starting his turn. You're absolutely correct there, Brent. Tim is ready to really get engaged, really get into the meat and, stones of Doug Hamilton's army.
Getting up into Doug Hamilton's stones, indeed.
Hamel, Tone Loke. Now, did you hear that? Did you hear that declaration of confidence from Tim Simpson? I'm going to kill him, is what he said. He's
right
ready
you
to
are,
do
Dallas.
it. He's ready
right
to do
you
it.
are.
This may be the turn that ends all turns.
You're removing the clouds from the field. You'll note he got the mechanics out of the way.
He just took care of that right from the get.
The pressure's on now.
Zavana Aga, all full of focus.
If I were Doug, I'd be sweating just a little bit right now.
I would be absolutely just wringing sweat. Just a nervous wreck.
We can watch those black fangs, or black dragons, mind you, pushing deep into the stones of Doug Hamilton.
Deep into that Scorn line, ready to bust him up. Here we go, Pebbles.
He's maintained that shield wall once again. This is that strategic precision play by Tim the Nuke Scalpel Simpson.
Just what I expect anytime I see this man play a game.
And once again, we start to watch the statues fall.
Just crumble before the might of the Khadoran force. It's like instantaneous erosion.
Right you are, Dallas.
Yeah, a crumbling mountain.
Quite astute. Quite astute. You know what I think I'm seeing right now? Some climate change.
Climate change in action in the microcosm of Warmachine and Hordes.
It's like a massive glacier pushing against that rock, shaping it, changing it, and forming it into
to its
nothing.
will. To its will.
To its will.
Yeah. Tim's will, shaping the stone of Doug Hamilton Loke.
Right you are, Dallas.
Quite the analogy in a metaphorical sense.
I'm honestly starting to sense that this might be proof of climate change.
This is it. This is all we needed.
Climate change brought to you by Tim the Nuke Scalpel Simpson.
Here we go.
Here comes the laser. Checking those lines of sight. He's getting agreement from Doug that indeed Tim does have that line of sight because he plays with such amazing precision.
Precision. Look at that.
And here comes that explosion we've been talking about all game.
He was holding them back and just winding them up like a rubber band airplane.
And then snapped them right into Doug's stones.
Boom! Right into the stones.
Right into his stones.
Say goodnight, Pebbles. This is the end of the south flank.
It's not looking good. Not looking good for Doug. It's a POW 16 hit.
Yikes.
Now Doug's stepping in here, taking that attack. Now you note Tim did catch the time this time.
Got it. Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Popped it right over, right when Doug said, hey, I got something to do. is going to move over here with Death Rage. What a great name, by the way, Death Rage.
It is a great name.
I like that
Right
word.
you are, Dallas.
I really enjoy that, Death Rage. What kind of rage do you have? Death Rage. What do you rage about? Life. Metaphor.
Right you are, Dallas.
Back to the action. There we go. Clicking back over
Looking
the time.
back over.
Just what I expect. Finishing up with those Ulans. Man, I really like Ulans.
Ulans are really great.
Dude, those are awesome horses
They are pretty horses, Dallas,
with awesome knights
with awesome
and
knights.
exploding lances.
Their lances literally explode into Doug's stones.
Literally collapsing and crumbling the stone might of the Scorn forces, reducing them into pebbles.
Right you are, Dallas.
Doug's Pebbles 34 list, taking a beating. Some mind tricks being played there by Doug Hamilton. Some interesting strategy. 1 point into Hakar. Very smart. Let's get rid of Hakar. That's what I would do. Hakar scares me, especially because he has double exclamation points.
Honestly, he scares me because he has 3 A's in his name.
He has 3 A's, double exclamation point, Hakar, the Stone Mountain, Mana Pebbles.
Right you are, Dallas.
Back to the action.
Once again, shield walling as he moves forward.
Just look at that. Just moving up there, getting in the shield wall, protecting that zone, reinforcing the line, protecting that wizard's tower and all of its precious alchemical goodness.
Here come the attack rolls.
That's a dead immortal.
This is the carnage that we were expecting to see here today.
This is what I love to see. Just a good old slobber knocker. Just a brawl between titans of the game.
And it's quite clear that at the very least, Tim's going to start collecting some control points.
Well, we'll see what happens. He definitely has that southern. Let's take a look at that. Let's postulate. This zone is definitely being controlled by Tim.
He truly has dominated that area of the field.
Dominated the southern area of Doug's line. We have this line here of Doug's being crumbled and just forced in
Just
from
crushed.
this area. We still have the old witch who could be coming up to maybe cast some spells. But this zone itself is just anchored. Just anchored. Not sure exactly what this strategy represents, but I'm going to call it the pumpkin bow and arrow tactic.
The pumpkin bow and arrow. Right you are, Dallas.
Back to the action. Defensive strike. Scooting that time over like a gentleman would. Pow-8 Weapon Master. Man, those are words I hate to hear.
Anytime I hear Weapon Master, I actually kind of get some PTSD.
You're just like, oof, this is going to die. All right, this game is moving along. Hot action on both sides of the table.
Right you are, Dallas.
Pebbles 34 taking a beating. Zavana Aga popping her feet. Here we go. the moment I personally been waiting for. So what happens when, I don't know if you know this, but what happens when the old witch pops her feet, this is an amazing feat, is that she gains the benefit of all of her arcane machinery effects, which means a lot. This is a lot.
Run us through it, Dallas.
All right, so she's going to gain arcane calibrations. So she's going to reduce the cost of each spell that she casts this activation by 1 focus, right? So this is
That's
focus.
massive.
It's massive. This is a massive feat, just going to be amazing. She also gets Divinator. While in this model's control range, models in her battle group can reroll failed attack rolls. Each roll can be rerolled only once as a result of Divinator. That means this Kodiak right there, that guy's going to reroll and go do whatever he wants. Plain and simple.
Right you are, Dallas.
She's also getting a Power Magnifier. This model can spend 1 focus point at any time during its activation to give 2 focus points to a warjack in his battle group. This is once more that focus manipulation and just overall just resource management that she is known for, because she's going to spend 1 focus. The Kodiak's going to gain a focus. She's going to reduce the focus. It's giving her just focus multiplication amplification.
This is traditional Tim Simpson action.
Classic maneuver.
Taking
popping
a little,
the feet,
making it a lot.
making it a lot. Just a strategy amplifier, right? He moves an inch to the left, it's like 10 feet.
Tim Simpson, strategy multiplier.
Strategy multiplier. Range amplifier. Bringing us back to amplifier, she also gains range amplifier. When she casts a spell, it's going to gain plus 5 inches to the range.
That's
right?
really far.
She's shooting from downtown.
Downtown, Old Witch style.
Downtown Old Witch style. And she's also going to gain Vexing Alignment. She's going to increase her control range by 4 inches. Just an exponential growth of range and focus manipulation.
It's almost like we designed this model for Tim for this game.
It's basically him on a table.
Right you are, Dallas.
Back to the action. Doing some damage. Man, she is going in there. Old Witch doing the work all herself. She's like, you know what, guys? I can handle it.
Once again, like we saw last year, he's carving that hole through his forces.
Look at that.
And there we are.
Kodiak
Khador.
on a car.
Khador facing some serious trouble now from that Kodiak.
We're going to nickname that Kodiak Stone Grinder.
Stone Grinder.
Stone Grinder.
Literally grinding Doug's stone in front of us.
Just ripping it apart in the pebbles.
Hitting it deep in the pebbles, indeed.
Or a fine dust.
Right you are, Dallas.
Back to the action. Just getting into the car, removing that threat from the tabletop. That feat that just keeps on giving. Oh, vision. Six minutes left on Tim Simpson's clock.
Well, it's all that time he gave Doug Hamilton to play.
Just let him run rampant.
Well, and why wouldn't you?
I would.
I mean, Doug Hamilton is a pretty man. Those double ones didn't help him out, though.
That's not doing any favors to him, that's for sure.
Oh.
6-6-5-4.
Oh,
That's
man.
a dead
His
ancestral guardian.
ancestors felt that hit.
Just right back into time and gave him a wallop with that great axe.
But you know what? Though it shouldn't surprise us, Tim Simpson really can roll the dice when he has to.
That is truth.
Truer words.
In the history of Warmachine Hordes, definitely, at this point, truer words have never been spoken. I'm sorry, what was that, Brent?
Rawr.
Roar. The sound of great bears. That's
Right
what
you
a
are,
Great Bear
Dallas.
sounds like when he countercharges into an Ancestral Guardian. Tell me I'm wrong, and I'll take it back.
Right you are, Dallas.
Back to the action. There we go. Doug making his move.
Doug pretty desperate here. He's got to show us some serious life if he
Doug
wants to.
desperate maneuver Hamilton.
Desperate maneuver. DP.
Hit with that 7. Rolling that damage. Killing the Iron Fang Pikeman. Getting that control point.
Ugh, double ones, Doug.
You don't want those double ones at this stage in the game. Doug's really taking the command into that zone.
It looks as though he may actually manage to hold that control zone.
He might get a control point, which would make me lose my gentleman's bet with you that Doug Hamilton would not gain a control point in this game.
Well, it's like I was telling you before the game started. Doug Hamilton has an amazing amount of luck, and sometimes that luck pays off.
Luck always pays off.
Right you are, Dallas.
Back to the game. Tim has 1 point. Doug has 0 points. Absolutely correct. Just crushing those Iron Fang Pikemen with those Immortals. Checking his melee range. Taking out that entire unit, that entire flank, that entire north half of the board into the control zone. Zal camping just a massive pile of fury.
It does look like one. It looks like one Iron Fang managed to survive that assault.
That's really. Oh nope! Here he goes. He's buying with those.
Oh, there it is.
That's it.
He's got that. He's got that control zone.
Doug wants those alchemical elements really badly in that wizard tower. As so would I.
Right you are, Dallas.
Glowing green potions? Come on.
Who would?
Astute observation. Into the Great Bear. You know what it sounds like when a Great Bear dies? It's an unfortunate sound.
Right you are, Dallas.
And that's it. That's a Great Bear dead. Sofia Skorova chilling like a villain up in the middle there.
Well, this is the kind of battle we came here for today.
This is exactly what I wanted to see and expected to take home with me. This will live forever in my dreams and memories. This battle, the clash of the Titans, the Masters of Mayhem and of the Maelstrom, Doug Hamilton, Tim Simpson, Warmachine 2017 Staff Invitational Showdown.
Right you are, Dallas. Now we see Doug moving his forces up into those mechanics.
Yeah, he's getting up in there, going to take out those mechanics, keep him from repairing Old Witch.
This is the kind of bloodthirsty action we'd expect to see from Doug Hamilton.
Just the kind of just visceral attack that he is known for.
Right you are, Dallas.
Here we go into the game. Taking out that mechanic. Taking out that mechanic.
Just a massacre in there.
We might be losing Sophia. Such a cool model.
It is a great model. Right you are, Dallas.
No damage. What exactly is his plan?
I guess we'll have to find out, Dallas.
I feel like Doug tried to lure Tim into a false sense of security, only to unleash a devastating plan of retaliation and visceral precision.
Absolutely right, Dallas. We
Back to the action.
Are we seeing a turning of the tide here?
Just a pushing back of the stone avalanche.
Or the avalanche pushing back?
The avalanche always pushes back.
Right you are, Dallas.
Back to the action. Oof. Just doing damage on those Kodiaks. Or that Kodiak. Big thumbs up from Will Pagani. There we go. That's a big thumbs up from Tony Konachek. Everybody here at Privateer Press is super happy and excited to be part of Warmachine Weekend 2017 and our staff invitational. We're Doug Hamilton versus Tim Simpson. Warmachine Weekend 2017. What a great time. Thanks for joining us.
Right you are, Dallas.
Back to the game.
Doug desperately
Absolutely
swinging for the
true.
fences here. Just desperately swinging at the fences, trying to take out some of those forces that Tim's got right against him.
Astute observation, like a caged animal or a cornered animal.
Right.
I'm opening up the claws and going all in.
Like a raccoon stuck in a
briar patch.
Right you are, Dallas.
Unyielding on that gray bear. Going to charge with the Kreia. Actually, that may be the Drake. Nope, that's the Kreia. He's going to kill that great bear. Pow 12 on that Kreia. See what happens. Not tough. Killed that gray bear. You know what that means. Death of a great bear.
A sad, sad day.
What a fantastic game. Riveting nail biter.
Also, I need Dan Young.
I will admit, it is surprisingly close.
Surprisingly close. Something totally unexpected.
I can't help but think that maybe losing that time to Doug, giving that time up on Tim's side, might have hurt his play.
Could have done him in, but only time will tell.
That is the nature of Warmachine and Hordes. You don't know till it's over.
Or just the nature of time itself. You never really know where it's going.
Very philosophical, Dallas. Right you are.
Back to the action. All right, we got an Agonizer moving up. The Agonizer, man, I'm telling you, the anchor to the list.
The literal crown jewel of the Scorn army.
Absolutely correct. Astute observation.
I mean, if there was one model I would raise up as the symbol of Scorn supremacy, it would be the Agonizer.
The Agonizer? I'm a big fan myself, I got to say. He's moving Zal 2 over there. Zal, the ancestral advocate. He's very active in the community, advocating for his ancestors.
Right you are, Dallas.
Back to the action.
Looks as though Tim and Doug are once again discussing strategy.
Little friendly advice back and forth. That's what I love about these two. They're helping each other out.
Well, it's costing Doug some significant time.
Well, he's got a minute left, minute 25, 24, 23 left on that clock. Let's see what he does. This is the Hail Mary. This is his Angels in the outfield.
Right you are, Dallas.
Let's see what Doug can pull off in those final minute.
wander off to?
I think he's going to attempt to spell the old witch to death. 50 seconds left on the clock on Doug Hamilton. Got the hit with the boost. Dice -6, boosting the damage roll. Let's see what the dice say.
4 damage in.
4. Not enough to deal with that Ulan. Got a hit. Rolling for damage, boosting it once again.
Right now, Doug's just getting as much punishment as he can. He knows he only has a couple seconds left
That's
in the
right.
game.
7 seconds on the clock.
And that is
that's it.
clock.
That's the clock. That's the game. Doug's gonna go ahead and cast all of his fury. And that's the end of the game.
Well, that
That's
was an
it.
exciting one.
There's the handshake.
Well, that was a good game.
That was one heck of a game. A nail biter from start to finish.
Well, we didn't get to see the kind of rampant destruction that Tim can bring at the end of his game.
I guarantee if Tim was going to go on his turn, he was just going to come in full fury and just annihilate the field.
I got to be honest, I feel like perhaps Doug tried to play just a little bit slower in hopes not to get the kind of embarrassment we saw last year with Will Schick.
No, things happen.
Right you are, Dallas.
Thanks for joining us on Warmachine Weekend 2017. I'm Dallas Kemp.
And I'm Brent Walder.
And we'll catch you next time. Warmachine Weekend. Take it out.